I remember growing up in my home. My grandfather died in 1993. Yeah, so I think I was just going to grade one. And my pops was not in the house. So, but I had like two pops. So rich dad, poor dad. But they were not in the house. One thing that was important was for my grandmother to teach me fundamentals of becoming a man, being a man. My mother was still younger, so my grandmother did most of the role, as I explained earlier. So growing up, a father was always taught to us that is important because my grandfather was a good father, Mr. Bwanali. So happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out here. Growing up, I remember in my 20s when I started the music, I had a lot of questions. Where my pops here, where my pops here, because even though you know that the father is there, you just sometimes want to know that they love you like that. They taught you things, they claimed you, they showed you the way, right from wrong. But I also have to understand that some of our fathers were born, in colonial times. So the hurdles that they had, some of them were left with actually what you call mental problems, you know. But that's not an excuse to not being a good father or to not want to try. So at some point in my 20s, I'm going rambling. My mother called my father, the one who's still alive, and said, look, talk to him. I remember that day I was in Jersey, the old man spoke to me, and I could feel like, okay, a father speaking to his son, and I could understand what I couldn't understand, even though I couldn't explain it. But ever since that day, my life just started to make sense. And I thank my mother for always, speaking good about my two pops, even though the conditions were hectic, she was loved and she acknowledged that. And they were good men, they tried how they tried. And the stories I was told is there was so much love growing up, is when I was just born. And then of course, from the age of 3 and so starting to understand life, there was just my grandma then, my sisters, my brother, my mother. So it's important to explain how someone then at times will not see Father's Day sometimes in the light, because African people, we come from different hurdles of, some fathers are bad fathers, some fathers, they try, some of them are alcoholics, some of them, they brutalize, they mistreat their own. So today, however, we'll say Happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there. We as Africans, we do not sometimes applaud one another, but the good fathers are out there in numbers. Sometimes in so much chaos, we don't know who's good, who's bad. For example, these ATP fathers, they're facing so much hurdles right now. No employment, out of employment, unwanted, but they're still someone's father. They care about their children. So Happy Father's Day to you, Keep being you, a good father. Don't stop being a good father. Stay working to complete. Because if you're a good father, you will complete. You bring a child to this world, you want to complete the story that you were trying to tell when you were making this child. So the likes of Thabo Mbeki, good fathers. Happy 80th elder, amazing. Oliver Mtukudzi the late, he was a good father. On the road day and night, working for his family. So, you take care of your kids, right? You take care of these kids, you understand that you're being a good father. Remember that you matter. You're a good father. You matter to your children. You matter to the people you inspire. You matter to other kids you inspire. So, when I went to Iqra Darul Ilm, I had two people who inspired me the most, who wanted the best for me. The one is Mr. Anjum. He was my science teacher. He always smacked me, find me in corridors. He always wanted me in class. He had so much love for me. Growing up at Iqra Darul Ilm, it was a Islamic boys' school. Girls were on their own. We boys were on our own. So our teachers, our maulanas, they were our fathers. Especially for us, when you go to Iqra Darul Ilm, mostly you're coming from a Muslim foundation, of which is a bit complicated in Zimbabwe. So that's where normally you end up to get the best out of your circumstances. Mufti Menk, yes, the one that everybody loves, the one we all love. It's like a father to me, because Mufti Menk, his father and his brother, they technically own a school called Iqra Darul Ilm, and that's where I went. And Mufti Menk, just as he was getting more popular after he got his Mufti, he taught us, he taught these special classes. So he taught us nasheeds. I remember once, twice, I was the lead vocalist in our recitals and stuff at school. So it was beautiful. I remember he taught me a nasheed that went something like, اخترت طريق الله أنا اخترت طريق الله اخترت طريق هدى وسنة اخترت طريق الله فانطلقت روحي سابحة تجتاز الأنجم والزمن فانطلقت روحي سابحة تجتاز الأنجم والزمن تجتاز. This is I was 14 years old and going into 15. I pray I recited that correctly. Some of the stuff I learned from Mufti Menk. A father figure, a good father. So remember to be responsible. As a father, be responsible. Remember, you are a hero or you are a zero to your children. So good fathers, they're heroes or they're zeros. So my brother Joe is a good brother. He's a good father. He tries. Opa in Stellenbosch. Crispin Garepi is now in Canada there with the family. I've seen the brother work so hard. At some point we worked together at Spur. He had a job during the day, fixing cell phones, the best cell phone and computer. You literally like got deeper into the ICs and stuff like that. Like he understood electricity on a circuit board, just things how they function. So Crispian is one of my good brothers. He's now in Canada with the family. Good father, you know. Chamu Africa, my brother is in Germany. Every time I go to Germany, I'm always with the elder. It's a good father, you know. Young Noah is there, you know. The girls are in Zim, you know. And every time I'm there, I get updated about the children. I chill with young Noah. Young Noah was still young, actually. Now he should be big Noah now, you know. He loved to farm, you know. Once we were this, where the yam is in Berlin, and young Noah took a hose pipe and he started watering the plants. Beautiful stuff, you know. So raise your children to be strong and to understand who they are, who they're supposed to be. Their matter. Don't cheat on their mothers, you know. Because part of being a good father, you lay a foundation and you take a woman, you make her yours, right? And then you create these babies, you know. So these babies, they grow up and then they learn from your good father, right from wrong, you know, those do's and the don'ts. So be the guidance, shelter, advice, pillar and strength. Your good father to your children, to your wife. Yeah, be a good father. Don't complain about that you can't change. Good father, don't complain. Just work on yourself so complaining becomes irrelevant. Good father, don't complain. When you work on yourself, good father, you know, complaining becomes irrelevant because there's fundamentals of knowing yourself and your responsibilities. Good father, be you. Be you, good father. Stay you. Shamil, Vermeulen, Bob Marley the late, Thabo Tindi, my brother is in Berlin, you know, the owner of Josie TV. Good brother, good family, you know, he married from here, South Africa. He's a South African brother, of course. He married from here, got his family in Germany. Good, very lovely. Bernard, of course. Chawira, Mr. Chawira. Sizzla Kalanji. Yeah. Brother Rubin. Yes, Stellenbosch. You know, they're good fathers out here. So, whichever good father you know as an African, say Happy Father's Day for real, real, real. Buy them something. Yesterday I visited Opa in Kaimo. I visited Shamil in Ida's Valley. I visited a few other people. I met her. And then I got a beautiful message from my nieces. My sister told me, they say they know I'm not a father yet, but it's still my day. So happy Uncle's Day. They sent me hearts. Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, in my family, I became an uncle when I was like 14, 15. Yeah, very young. So, and I've got a lot of girls in my home, you know, a lot of nieces. I got also nephews, of course, but I got a lot of nieces. So that love, you know, you learn to understand father, being a father or having that father role, being an uncle, you know, play it to your best because there are people who matter, who always watch you and they're born, they start to talk, and then you realize, oh, I've got so much responsibility now, So I'm amazed, and I want to say thank you to my nieces for thinking about me on Father's Day. I'll always be your great uncle. Yeah, you always stay my beautiful, most humble, most understanding nieces ever. All of y'all. Some of y'all do not, of course, reason sometimes, but I know y'all understand the bigger picture. And to all the good fathers in the world, this is your day. Appreciate it. We appreciate you. That's why I have to take time out to do this. Mostly for those African fathers out here. In your multiracialness. Appreciate you. That's what's up.